Okay, here's some exercises for the sarcoiliac joint dysfunction. These ones that I've found by doing a bit of research on a few different websites. Obviously I'm not a complete expert, but these are ones that are recommended and they're ones that I'm familiar with, so I should be fine to take you through them all. So first one is saying about keeping the pelvic floor strong. So there are both slow twitch and fast twitch muscles in the pelvic floor. So it's good to be able to do both. So obviously I can't physically demonstrate those really, apart from a position. I mean, you can do it sitting on a chair, or you can just lie down with the legs bent, whatever you feel is the best position for you to be able to focus on those specific muscles, obviously from front to back of the pelvis. So fast twitch, you're looking for like quick contractions, so sort of 10 fast contractions of the pelvic floor. And then to also work the slow twitch muscles, you're looking for a longer hold of about 10 seconds. So you can start off with about 3 rounds of that. So the fast twitch, then we're going into the slower holds. Okay, and then the second one is one I can show you, so toe taps. So it's saying about focusing on targeting keeping the lower abs, you know, strong, which makes sense because they're closer to the pelvis than the sort of upper abdominal area. Yeah, so if it help with that pelvic stability, keeping those lower abs strong. So things where you're lying flat and moving your legs around is what's going to target the lower abs. So whenever you're lifting the legs off the mat, you should always try and imprint the spine first. So that's that pelvic tilt. So imagine you've got a glass of water on your pelvis, and then you're drawing that pelvis towards you, so the glass of water is tipping. And then we're carefully lifting the legs to tabletop. So this is a slow exercise, so you're really focusing on what's happening, and you can focus on that back connection into the mat. I like to put my hands on the thighs just so you can feel that they're still in the right place. So you want your knees over your hips, about a 90-degree bend in the legs. So from there, we're inhaling as we take the leg down. Exhale, draw it back up. So you don't even need to go the whole way down to the mat to start with. You can just go halfway. Yeah, if you feel your back's coming off the mat, halfway, draw it back up. Yeah, really focusing on locking that core in nice and tight. Okay, so this can be quite a challenging exercise if you're doing it properly. Yeah, it does really work those lower abs. So take your time. Just focusing on that, try and get the breathing going with it as well. Okay, and then you can develop that onto extending the leg instead of tapping down. So same again, extending one leg out, bringing it back in, away and back in. Yeah, if you feel like that's fine, you can take it a little bit lower, but again, if you feel like that back's starting to come off the mat, keep it higher. Okay, so you can do sort of 2 sets of each, about 10 reps, and then just bring the legs into rest. So when it comes to the classes, things where you're keeping the lower back on the mat should be fine. So for example, when we're doing something like, you know, something like this single leg stretch, these should be fine, okay, because the lower back is still connected to the mat. It's more things which I don't normally tend to do anyway, where we're sort of fully rolling up, you know, big movements like that is what you want to try and avoid. So if you ever see in any of my videos lower back coming off, just keep the lower back on the mat. Yeah, so you're just doing that smaller range of movement, okay? So next ones, we've got a bit of trunk rotation as well, okay? So another one that's been recommended. So from there, we're bringing the legs together, and then we're literally just keeping the feet, so keeping one foot down, letting the other one lift slightly, keeping most of the spine still on the mat, just the lower part lifting, holding for about 5 breaths. Then once you've done your 5 breaths, bring it back to the centre with control. Taking it to the other side, trying to keep the knees stacked on top of one another. So not taking it too far, not looking to really force the legs down. Yeah, so it's at a comfortable range.
Again, keeping the core engaged as we're taking the legs side to side. Okay, so about 3 each side of those. And so another exercise, so for the sacroiliac joint dysfunction, it's really important to work your glutes as well, because again, that's a real good core stabiliser, pelvic stabiliser as well, so that will help support that joint. One of the best exercises you can do for your glutes is a glute bridge. Yeah, so nice and simple, just feet and knees hip distance, just hip hinging, squeezing the bum up. You can do a little hold at the top. Yeah, if you want to work it a bit more, hold a 5-second squeeze as tight as you can, lowering back down. Again, keeping the core engaged, making sure you're not lifting the rib cage up. Yeah, keeping this rib to hip connection as you lower and lift. So you can do sort of 2 sets of those up and down for about 10 reps. Depending on how much time you've got, you can always do more. Okay, so just one standing exercise that's supposed to be good is a yoga position called the triangle. Alright, so the triangle, you start with your legs about 3.5 to 4 foot apart, and then you turn the right foot out at 90 degrees, left foot in very slightly. So we'll keep a little bend in this leg, and then from there, I'm just taking one hand to the inside of the leg and just sliding down. Okay, letting this arm lift up as well. So imagine your body's between 2 panes of glass. You're trying to keep in that line, so try not to let the hips drop, nice and open through the hips. If you feel like that's fine, you can always extend the front leg a little bit more, take it down further. Okay, but as soon as you feel like this hip starts to drop, then you've gone too far. I'm going to say nice and open through the body. Okay, and then obviously you can change that to the other side. Foot turned in slightly, other foot out. Yeah, a little bend to start with, see how it feels. Sliding down, you can look forward or look up at the hand. If that feels fine, you can straighten the leg, take it down a little bit more. Okay, rebending to come back up. Alright, so you can hold each side for about 5 breaths, something like that, as long as that's comfortable. And cobra. I was actually a little bit surprised that this one is, but apparently this one is a good one for it as well. So cobra, lots of these you already would have done with me, yeah, but hands by the chest, elbows tucked in, and you're just pressing up from there, keeping the glutes relaxed, so I'm not engaging the glutes in this one, looking forward. I'm just holding here, so yeah, make sure the shoulders are back and down, little soft bend in the elbows still, and then lowering back down with control. And another one is child's pose, which flows quite nicely from your cobra. So from there, then you're just pressing back and then just rocking back. I can't do this one very well because of my knee, but you can sit your bum to your heels, drop your forehead down. And again, hold for a few breaths. And last one then, again, one of my favourite stretches anyway, is the piriformis stretch. So a little muscle that attaches to our hips, often gets tight on a lot of people anyway. So that's feet and knees hip distance, taking one leg across, pressing the knee away. If you're quite tight already, if it's, you know, flaring up a little bit, that might be enough stretch for you. If you want, you can draw that in towards you, so you can hold either under the thigh, over the shin, or I personally prefer, I'll show you at a different angle, to hold the foot, hold the shin, press the knee away, so trying to open up that hip area. Or if you're by a wall, which I just so happen to be, it's even better. You go feet hip distance on the wall, take it across, and then you can just press the knee away. And you don't have to worry about sort of using your upper body effort to hold that shape in place. If you're doing it against the wall though, as you're pressing the knee away, try not to let the hips shift out to the side, try and keep them quite central. Yeah. As you're doing that, just holding. You can hold this one for sort of about 30 seconds to a minute, something like that. And then obviously changing sides. So yeah, so the main sort of exercises in the classes were just mainly, you know, that real big sort of crunching movement is just one to avoid. So just adapting that to, yeah, just like I said, just keeping the lower back up, but you can still do chin over chest, yeah, and you can still do small chest lifts like that. So that should be absolutely fine. All right, let me know how you get on with them.